Hello. Welcome back, folks. Here we are for round number 3 in season 6 of Bwoah Racing League. We are here in Shanghai. Is it Shanghai or is it Beijing? I forgot. But anyway, we are here for the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Circuit. So yes, it is Shanghai. Forgive my geography, as Satak also pointed out in the last race. I got a bit confused with the geography. Turns out China is on the northwest side relative to Australia, but it's on the northeast side relative to India. So here we go. Chinese GP, 10 drivers out on track. Let's hope we get one or two more late joiners, but there you go. As we have proved it in the last race, we don't need 20 drivers. We only need 10 to have a great race on the track. Car goes vroom. Indeed, prophecy. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've seen you in the chat, or I might have forgotten you existed. Anyway, here we go. Qualifying looks like a dry qualifying up ahead, and as usual in the comms box, there's always a bit of suspense when it comes to the weather. It's gonna be dry for the foreseeable time here. No clouds. It's looking quite dry and sunny out there, and drivers are already getting out quickly for their first laps out there. And it's RB Farlow to kick off the party. Last one to join, first out. That's some mathematical formula for you there. And here we go, more drivers are coming out. Sicknick is out. The Ferrari of is that Derp or Horning is out as well. Gouts, the only McLaren for today, he's going out as well. So it's slowly everyone's taking the time finding a gap. Derp win or you riot? Yes, prophecy. Derp win or you riot. And the only one who will cause you a riot is probably the likes of Andre, Sicknick, and everyone else in the lobby, to be honest. We have some big hitters missing today due to last minute commitments. So we have likes of Gerald Pepper is missing. KDB is still probably out on holidays. Big Man Joe is back from his holidays. So there you go. He's out on track. Well, he's still in the pit lane waiting for his car to go out. And then UK there, as you can see, as tradition says, he always goes out on the intermediate tires, intermediate tires, folks, to set out a provisional lap and lay down some rubber out on track. And let's get this US sorted really quick. Here you go. Right, first driver to start his lap, RB Farlow here. Let's see. Through the snail section, coming towards the end of sector 1 over here. And let's see how he takes this line. Okay, not too bad. A bit of a lockup there. As you can see, the rear was starting to slide out. And into sector 2, this is where all the downforce in the world will help you throughout this section. But in sector 1 and 3, you will need all the straight line speed you can to go quick on the straights. And looks like it's a very calm and tentative lap so far, not pushing it just yet. And support coming in for Sicknick already in the chat. Indeed, guess what, sir, I am an avid fan of Sicknick as well, and I am cheering him on as well from here, and keeping my jinx away from him, and throwing the jinx away to everyone. But yes, anything can happen in league racing. This is the best part. Okay, and the hairpin there, nicely done. There's a bit of a traffic in front of him. Big Man Joe might want to get a move on immediately. He might almost impede RB Farlow here. RB Farlow might just get a bit of a slipstream at the start of the lap. 34.5. They set a banker. I don't think RB Farlow will be too fussed about getting held up slightly there. It is his first lap anyway, and that might be a slow banker there. 34.5, not too bad. And second to come across the line here is Sicknick, who has invalidated his first attempt. Nevertheless, it was looking like a good lap. It's only a 41.6 that was invalidated, so he will be going again, looks like it. His ERS is not blinking, so he's going for a second push lap. Next across the line, let's see, a Gouts, who has showed up pretty consistently and put in a lot of consistent performance throughout the seasons and even this season. Oh, there you go. Sets the fastest lap for the time being, half a tenth quicker than RB Fellow for now. Coming across the line once again is the intermediate runner of UK, who gets into the pits after setting down some rubber, and Street is also going back into the pits after that invalidation. Dub and Honing are playing the team game as always. Dub, there you go. That's the expectation that we had. 33 flat, and that puts him P1 for now and be half a second behind on his first attempt. Honing sets the time, but I think that was just to help his teammate get a tow, and looks like these Ferraris are back out there playing the team game as always. We love to see this between these two Great Danes, Dub and Honing. And next across the line is Big Man Joe. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Just before I managed to pan over to him, he goes up into P4. So it's looking quite tight in the top 3, and then the following 4. 3 more drivers yet to set a time. Signic now will come across the line to set his bank. Oh no, all across the line. Just took a little bit too much of the exit curb out of the last corner onto the pit straight, and Spinalla. At least a banker time on the board there. RB Fellow there improves his lap time, or is it the same? No improvement to his lap. He looks like starting another lap. Alright, good luck to him. UK Street are still in the pits, yet to set a time. Now second time around, are these drivers gonna go again? Let's see. Honing. Oh, you just love to see this yellow. So beautiful to see this yellow. And show some support in the chat if you love this yellow on the Ferrari. I'd say it's pretty much better than the green on the Ferrari that they had last year. But nevertheless, what a show. What a show, this car. And into the pits Honing goes. So that was probably just his installation lap. Andre into the pits as well. Danny into the pits as well. So we have a bit of a downtime here where everyone is going back to the pits. And make sure to put in your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is gonna take pole position here in the Chinese Grand Prix? 10 minutes to go, 11 minutes to go, 2 more runs, 3 more runs possibly for some of the drivers. Who do you think will take pole? And what do you think the pole lap time is going to be? My prediction is a 32.690. I had to put the 69 there, but there you go. You can ignore that anyway. Back to the race. Qualifying is underway. Signic now getting ready for another run perhaps, or is he going back to the pits? That looks like a session. The run is over. Into the pits he will go. RB Fellow here also into the pits. No, he's going out, and ooh, that is a wild snap. Wild snap on the exit of the last corner. That is something we will be seeing a lot of it throughout this qualifying, and probably even more in the race as drivers push to get the overtake done on this pit straight, or going side by side even into this corner before the pit straight. And it's a tricky corner as well because there's a pit entry right ahead of you, and if you misjudge the pit entry and you run into someone, you are in trouble. Stewards will be looking for you. There you go. Second runs are going to be coming in. Outlaps are here and there. Let's ride on board with the first person to come across the line here. It is Streeter who is going to start his lap. So let's say Streeter, who has been another top performer in the league, on and off I will say, and in the Alpine today, possibly contending for the pole position over here. A bit of traffic up ahead for him though. If they can keep out of the way, and he will be fine. There you go. Danny keeps out of the way. Up ahead is a Mercedes for him, which should clear his way real soon. Turn 1 is always tricky here. It's tighter and tighter as you go into the corner, and there are so many different lines you can take. You can go in tight, you can go wide and then cut back in. So many ways to get lap time out of this section. 24.5, sector 1 for him. Sets a purple first sector. Streeter, he is on a flyer now. nicely done into sector 2 as well. No purple just yet for him into sector 2, so perhaps a more straight line speed focused setup, or just confidence building up through this lap. On to the back straight, very important to get a good exit out of the snail section to even think about an overtake on coming into this happen. A little bit more traffic ahead of him, but the Mercedes will get out of the way just in time. Tucks it into the apex there and then power out of the second last corner, and here you go. Make or break, send it into the corner, try not to invalidate, keeps it really safe in within track limits and safe enough to put in P2 for now, just under 3/10 away from pole position set by Dub. And next across the line is Danny. So how much can you improve? And looks like he will restart his lap. He might have gone wide there, and he's going to be restarting his lap. Next to start his lap, Envy. There you go. Race winner contender from the previous 2 races. However, incidents and late safety cars can always change some things, and Envy has had the worst end of the stick for the past 2 races. Let's see if he can improve his lap time. There's a Ferrari going super wide on the back straight. Is that Honing or Derp on the back straight? Let's have a quick look. It is Derp who might have had a bad exit. Andre is setting some purple lap times here as well. Purple into sector 2, and let's see on the back straight, UK also getting his lap time on. Looks like this is another invalidated lap time. Oh, goes for a spin there. Traction is the key here, and slow speed. It's important to really get the traction out of these slow speed sections, otherwise you're going to be losing a lot of time on the straights. Derp still on his time, we'll start another one. UK into the pit. Oh my goodness, that was a Hamilton-esque incident he had in the pit lane. We had to look at that. Andre, there you go, and finally sets a competitive time on the board. Half a second, oh my bad, half a tenth behind Derp. So these two who had been battling nip and tuck in the Australian GP every lap indeed, and now they are continuing their rivalry into this race. Will someone else jump in and spoil the party? Let's see, as few more laps coming in. Danny has improved his lap time, 3/10 up, 4/10 up on his previous best, and still 1 second behind the pole position time. Gout staying out of the way for his flying lap. Signic there is finally getting his lap, and we have more drivers. Kubarabi and Dishi, who has finally joined the session. They will only have 1 to 2 laps. Can they nail it in 1 or 2 laps? It's a question of how much preparation they've had before coming into the lobby. Signic, a 10th up into sector 1. Honing there improves his lap time. There you go, he's up to P7 now, 1.3 behind the pace setter of Derp, his teammate. And let's go back to Signic on the back straight here once again. Oh, there you go, flap open, DRS activated, and just power down the straight. 330, can he reach? Oh, not quick enough. Looks like maybe a high downforce setup here, or maybe just maybe slightly low wings. Who knows? We'll find out all in the race. Across the last corner, keeps it almost safe across the line. 5/10 behind. That's a wonderful lap there by Signic, who has been showing a lot of improvement recently. Puts him in the 3rd row, P6 for now. Safer from everyone else behind him. Next to cross the line was gonna be Danny, but that was his in lap. So we have a few more drivers out on track this time. Let's go on board with Envy, who is about to start his lap into sector 2. Warming up your tires here, and let's see how it does this snail section on the outlap. You don't want to be pushing too hard on your outlap to burn those tires, but at the same time you need some temperature to start the lap time, start the lap with some amount of grip especially for that never-ending turn 1 and 2 at sector 1. There you go, blasting down the pit straight. There's a nasty little bump there, as you might have seen. The car jumped a little bit in the middle of the track, so drivers will have to keep that in mind. If it rains, that can be nasty. If your setup is not catered for taking bumps effectively, that might come to bite you back. Anyway, back onto the action, and we now 5 tenths behind Dub's lap time here into sector 1. Just a minor improvement into sector 1, a half a tenth, but here comes sector 2, where you can make or break your lap time as well. A lot of corners, a lot more opportunity to make up some time, and into this sector it takes a tighter line compared to some of the drivers, and that sets him up pretty well for this double left-hander. And onto the exit, oof, so close with the track limits there, really just split him with the track limits, and you know, 4 tenths up already. And there you go, that is looking like a lap that is possibly challenging for the pole position here. 4 tenths up already. Can he find any more time into the 32s and onto the banking back straight? Here you go, DRS is going to be activated in a moment here and blast down the straight. Here comes another make or break section of the track. This happened, miss it and you lose all your time, and it looks like he's done it just nicely. And this one as well on the exit, relatively safe, I must say. That lap was taken, and across the line, this is gonna be a pole position provisionally for Envy. Goes almost a tenth quicker than Dub, sets at 32.978. More lap times are going to be coming. Envy still has a cooldown lap to do if he wants to go again, but I feel that might just be it. This tire is only good for a lap, so that might be the end. Few more drivers are ready to start their lap times. Here we go. Currently on provisional P2, Derp will start his lap time here, and he will be the first one to start his final run.
So how much chaos have I missed after all this while?
What a transition, Sarthak. Just as I was sipping a cup of tea, you just missed maybe 11 minutes of qualifying action. It's getting pretty tight up in front, with Envy setting a provisional pole time and Dub immediately going faster in his final attempt here. Andre and Streeter pretty close. UK and Signet pretty close. Anyone could take the pole in a minute or so.
Interesting. So the last couple of minutes of qualifying, I assume, and we've got a 10-man grid, 10-car grid.
It is, and well, actually it's 11 now, so you can make that a football team if you want. Dub, as we speak, he has gone 2 tenths quicker in his whole lap. Envy is back into the pits, so that's done for him. Dub, can he improve any more in his final run here?
Just jumping into the lobby as we speak. China. Which is the first driver in the Bwoah Racing League that pops up in your head when we say China? Davin?
Yes. That's my answer. That's been so many incidents and amazing battles last year. I'm pretty sure Derp and Envy had an incident somewhere in the race. And speaking of Derp and Envy, Derp goes 4 tenths quicker, sets at 32.5, beating my expectation by a tenth, and takes provisional pole position. Can anyone beat it? Andre is only a tenth up on his time. He needs to find 4 tenths if he wants to get anywhere close to that front line.
Big man just 600ths up out of sector 2, I presume. Ooh. And as he crosses the finish line, no,
he did not improve. But I was just riding on board with Andre, who was really pushing it on the snail section, coming onto the back straight, and he just spun on the exit, and that's his qualifying over. P3 will be his best result. Streeter is also into the pits, and looks like we might have a grid for the top 9 at least. Horning across the line, No, he's not going to cross the line. Arbifelo will cross the line, but he will not improve any further. There you go. We have a full grid already.
Yeah, I believe Horning was on the keyboard and mouse last time out. I don't know if he's still on the keyboard and mouse in this race as well, but we got our first pole position for Derp this season with 132.579. He'll start at pole at the Chinese GP of the Bwoah Racing League Season 6.
Indeed, what a lap indeed, and that was pretty close. Now into the race, I wonder, is there any chance of rain? Because Chinese GP and rain just seems to be a very nice combination of action and testing the driver skills and adding some variability as well. What do you think?
I think we had a bit of rain last time out as well, right? In season 5, a bit of a drizzle right before the end of the race, because I remember 4-5 cars going into the penultimate and the final corner, sliding out and whatnot while they were going wheel to wheel. So that was the chaos last season. If we see that kind of chaos unravel this season as well, I mean, who's to say no to that? But let's just hope everyone keeps it on track like they did last time out as well.
Indeed, and as we have qualifying session over, we have pole position for Derp, and we will line up in the first row alongside Derp. Andre takes P3, Streeter will line up in P4 UK. Good qualifying, good showing from him. P4 over there, Sitig in P5. Big Manjo in P6. Just look at the gap from P2 to P7. I think if you just miss one corner, you will lose all that time. And then Gouts in P8. Kubarabi, a late showing into the session, but nevertheless a very good lap to put him in P9. Horning goes in P10, and Arbifelo will round off the grid in P11. Not too much of a gap between all these drivers. I think one mistake from someone and you will definitely gain a position or lose your own.
The likes of Arbi Ferrello starting in the back of the pack, which means he's probably poised for a first finish. We've seen that on more than one occasion from Arbi Ferrello. Surprisingly enough, Big Man Joe and Gouts find themselves in positions they usually avoid qualifying in, which is in the middle of the field.
Indeed, middle of the pack is where the chaos always tends to take place, but it's always an opportunity to make some positions at the start. And here we go, Sarthak. The start of the race, tire choices. My favorite part of the pre-race, just before the formation lap, which is your favorite part of the show. And we have some drivers picking the hard tires already, presumably to go on the hard to medium strategy, which may be the fastest strategy around here, but also the medium hards is an option if there's an early safety car and whatnot. Things always can spice up, and wow, a lot of hard runners out there. The only one out of mediums in the top 10 is Streeter and Horning. Okay, let's just see. We have 12 seconds remaining before the formation lap begins. If anyone would like to change their strategy going into the race, but yeah, going by Streeter's choice of tire, I think he wants to attack the start and then try to pull away and then just running clear. Hopefully that works out on the start with bomber tires. And here we are, formation lap. Sarthak, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I was just pulling up last season's results, and turns out UK was the man who finished with a win. One of his wins in season 5 was the Chinese GP Hyrox 24, who's not with us this season. Has sat it out considering he has work and whatnot, and he took the fastest lap. Not sure who picked up pole position, but I will say Streeter, it's his first race this season here in the Chinese GP. Last time out, he was on the podium, so I'm looking forward to see if he can repeat that. But with the case of the pole sitter today, he was out of the podium last time out. He'll be looking to make up for that this season.
Indeed, and I was just speaking during the qualifying how Derp and Andre had a tooth and nail fight every lap pretty much in the Australian GP, and it looks like it might just continue here with a 3-way fight, possibly even a 4-way fight. With Streeter there putting a mix into the strategy with those medium tires, so we might just see some early battles and early strategy play coming in. So wow, anyone's guess could be who can be the winner, who can be the loser. We'll find out in 28 laps time. And
look at it, it looks like UK can actually, get a solid start and perhaps be in the top three within lap one. Uh, then again, how that battle will unravel, like you mentioned, we don't know. Let's hope it's clean as it gets. I think Australia at the start was as clean as it could get until Sicknick got bumped from the back and got sent into a spin. And yeah, even we had a different race result itself. Derp ended up losing his win, and Andre won at the end of it, isn't it?
Indeed, yes. Australia, I'm pretty sure there's some corners where it awards you an unnecessary amount of warnings, which was successfully appealed by Andre, and he got his win after the stewards reviewed it. So there you go. That's one mystery resolved. So I'm pretty sure the drivers were waiting throughout the week, and we've seen questions, who won the race, and all that stuff. Yeah, formation lap about to end. Drivers just getting in some last minute weaves and burnouts to get some more temperature to the tires. Lining up on track here. Make sure to not exceed the green marker box that will appear on your line, on your screen. And it looks like no one has been missing that just yet. I wonder if someone will.
They're learning.
Oh yeah, they're learning for sure. Top drivers out on track. Dishi, who did not set a qualifying time, is on the back of the grid. So we have top driver Sarthak. Take it away.
I believe it's your way, but
Oh yes.
I'll take it away. Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
5 lights are coming on, and once they go off, it's taking so long. These 5 lights are out, and finally it's go time, and everyone gets a pretty decent start. Streeter with a better start of everyone in the top 4 goes into P1 already. Down the inside, he is going to take the lead of this Chinese GP. Derp has a spin in the middle of the track, and that's causing a lot of issues. A big collision, big incident into turn 2, and down he goes. Oh my goodness, P9, P8, and everyone is tumbling down the order. Dishi, who has not even set a lap time on this track, is already up into P5.
Yeah, going into turn 3, I think Envy lost his rear and it was chaos thereafter for a couple of cars running right behind him. Streeter, what a start from him. At the start, Envy actually weaved to the left-hand side of the track in an attempt to get a bit of slipstream, I'd like to think, into turn 1. But Streeter just weaved to the other side and it went his way. Now we see wheel-to-wheel Alfa Romeo and Ferrari Derp and Big Man Joe in the midfield of all, as Kubarabi is up in a P5 already. Dishi, who started at the back of the pack, up in a P4.
Yeah, and RB Ferrello, who was alongside him in the back of the grid, up to P3. So that's just showing how keeping it clean might just happen.
No.
Oh, and that's a Haas going around. That's Kubarabi at the banking before the back straight. He is now been spun out.
They're getting a bit too aggressive in the midfield. I mean,
What's happened to RB Ferrello, Sarthak? He's out. He's out already. Look at the mini map. He is out on the back straight. Oh,
and
no.
it's the exact spot where Sri Watson took himself out way back in season 4, I believe, or season 3. And it's a repeat of what happened in season 5 for one of the drivers as well. That particular part of the track in Bwoah Racing League, time and time again, takes one driver out or the other.
Yeah, and lap 1 is over already, but we have so much drama, and there's already a 7-second gap growing between the top 2 and the rest of the pack. Gouts jumps into the pits for early pit stop there for some repairs.
Yeah, I couldn't catch what unraveled with Gouts, and I can only imagine him starting in the midfield. He got the short end of the stick, while Big Man Joe, he's running P3. He's running in a position I'm pretty sure he'd not predicted to be running within 2 laps of this race. Streeter, our podium sitter last season out, is now leading this race, and Envy somehow, despite the spin, despite the chaos, despite falling down the order, it stays and remains in P2.
Indeed, and just to remind you as well, he is on the hard tires, so this is looking to be a very well played game for NB for now. With a 7-second gap to the rest of the pack and being on the preferred tire for the race, he is looking good for now. Streeter now has fallen a bit into the clutches of Envy. Envy now back into the DRS range, but now let's turn our focus back to the back of the grid. Somewhere in the middle, Sicknick has made a move on Dishi right before the back straight, just at the banking. What a move there by Sicknick. Now it's a DRS battle down the straight. Who will break later? It looks like Sicknick wants to go later, gets a cutback. and side by side they might go into the last corner here. Let's see who gets the move, who is brave on the brakes. Yes, Dishy just pulls ahead.
Just yet. Brave of Dishy to pull off what he's doing, and Sicknick's not giving in, as you can see. Into turn 1, the positions are not going to change. Perhaps 2/10 between the two. Down the inside, he peaks. Sicknick dives as well. They say wheel to wheel through sector 1, and I think they're going to keep on going at it as they exit the sector. No, he's slowing down incredibly, Dishy. He's lost a bit of pace through that couple of corners, and he's primed for the taking for UK as well.
Indeed, he ran a little too wide for his liking at that corner, and Sicknick didn't second guess himself, went for the move immediately at turn 1, and yeah, now Sicknick is trying to pull away while he's also making his own train here.
Yeah, the more I look at it, I'm thinking how Dishy's managing himself out there between Sicknick and UK. He wants to reduce those mistakes, and now he is threatened for position as he weaves to the left-hand side of the track. UK is going to peek around the right, come back, still on his gearbox, nowhere to make the pass as such. So close, and somehow UK is making sure that gap doesn't go over 2/10.
Indeed, and now DRS has been enabled. UK, even before the DRS gets enabled, he makes the pass, and now with DRS wide open here into the hairpin. Dishy is not giving up. Without DRS, he's still putting up a show, overshoots the corner, and UK doesn't need a second invitation, but still UK gets a better exit, and no, UK doesn't get a better exit. UK gets a better exit, Satek, indeed, and he's down to P8 now.
Yeah, contact between the two, and it opened up an opportunity for Dub, who was just lurking right behind, who's now up in a P7. UK, he got dealt with the wrong card there, as Dub closed in on the likes of Dishy. Down the inside he goes. 2 marks within 2 corners, perhaps. No, contact between the two, and Dub tumbles down the order, still remains ahead of UK, and is going back for that position against Andre in the mix.
Indeed, and we wouldn't have seen these two. We didn't expect these two to be right in the midfield, but it is proving to be a spectacle to watch. These two Mercedes are looking to work together and hold up the rest of the pack. Dishy, who is on the medium tires, would want to pull away and pull Andre along, but at the same time they have the likes of Derp and UK and Horning all right on their tail, and that's a yellow on the back straight. That is Streeter who has spun, and that hands Envy the lead of the race, and he keeps pulling away.
Could things get... It went from bad to absolutely fantastic in 4 laps for Envy. I mean, I couldn't have imagined this after that spin he had at the beginning of this race. But back to that midfield battle. They're at the back straight, and it's Derp closing in on the likes of Dishy, who's got enough slipstream to ensure he's got that gap and keeps that gap, and will not make the pass, I presume, on his teammate, or probably will.
No, it was Andre who actually made the move onto Dishy even before the back straight started. But it looks like just a bit of back and forth going on. No team orders in the Mercedes garage too, it looks like it. And the Ferraris are on their case already. There is some hot battles in the Merc garage there. Into turn 1, Andre will take that P5 away from his teammate. But can he keep it though? He's running wide. Dishy looks like he might want to just send it down the inside. Derps trying to send it even more on the inside by going almost on the groups. Oh, there's contact between Derp and Dishy. And that sends Dishy around. Derp.
Not like that. And just like that, folks, from it being a Ferrari versus Merc battle between Derp and Dishy, now it's Horning versus Andre in P5 and P6.
Yeah, but Horning might have to look on his gearbox instead, because here comes Kubarabi, who is trying to take advantage of this situation and make up a few more positions.
Yeah, I mean, this race within 5 laps, despite not having a full racing grid, has given us so much action. It's an understatement, to say the least. Derp trying his best to close in. That's the smallest gap between 2 drivers, right, with Kubarabi and Horning. His teammate, Derp's teammate, up ahead. So I'd like to think Derp and Horning are communicating right now. But as I say, that Horning just spun and has tumbled down the order, and Kubarabi gets a position absolutely free.
Indeed, and he might just be able to survive this attack with some DRS. that he got from Horning, but Derb looks like he wants to go for the move immediately. Perhaps the pit straight will be the avenue for this overtake. Let's ride on board with Derb and see if he can make a move. Into the last corner, you have to be really brave if you want to go for an overtake here. Looks like, oh no, oh no.
What is happening?
Oh,
What is
no.
happening to the Ferraris out on track? First Horning, now Derp out the last corner, and he finds himself running P10 now.
Indeed, and that final corner curb said it as well in the qualifying. We might be seeing a bit more of that in the race, and there we go. We had the first victim already, and it was none other than Derp himself.
Yeah, the more I look at it, the more unpredictable this race is ending up to be. I mean, think about it. Sickling finds himself up in a P4, and I'll tell you why I just brought that up in a bit, because I want to go back to the back of the pack. Derp, Dishy again find themselves within a second of each other, and almost a DRS train forming with Horning. So now the Mercedes in between the two Ferraris is Dishy and not Andre.
Yeah, how things change within a lap and a half. Always sees to wonder. But yeah, back onto the battle here. We have for P3, Sicknick has caught up to Big Man Joe. Both on the hard tires here, same tires, and this means it's just going to be down to pure pace and racecraft to make up this position. Sicknick, wow, gains a lot of time on that DRS straight with the assistance of DRS and possibly some low wings there. And onto the back straight, onto the pit straight, I must say. This looks like a move might be coming in. It's not in a rush to make a move though, looks like it.
Yeah, these two have been going at it with each other, even in the chats, in the private chats. Considering Sicknick actually asked Big Man Joe to come out on track and face him wheel to wheel, and Big Man Joe was razzing him quite a bit. In the last couple of races, Sicknick didn't have the best of outings. But this time around, I think they're level pegging almost. Going into Sector 1, he weaves to the left. Sicknick almost wheel to wheel with Big Man Joe. As they go into the next corner, around the outside, he tries the move. But Big Man Joe has the better line, better exit he gets to. Can he fend off Sicknick for that much longer? Sicknick comes back, kicking around the outside. They're going to stay wheel to wheel for that much longer.
Indeed, and that was a very brave move by Sicknick to go around the outside into the braking zone at the end of Sector 1 and trying it around the outside in the middle of Sector 2, but it did not work out. But there's another chance for him coming up right ahead. Dishy, in the meantime, he has spun out once again, and that has left the two Ferraris to do their thing together.
That's how going to bode well for Andre if these Ferraris start charging through the field. UK is about 3.5 seconds off of Horning, so that's a sizable gap to make up. I don't know what kind of strat they'll be running. Will Derp be allowed to pass through, or will Horning be attempting to, take Derp along with him and close that gap to UK?
Oh, Sicknick is gaining under the brakes. He definitely gained a lot of time there, and another shot of DRS coming here onto the pit straight here. Looks like Sicknick, he's gaining, Sata, he's going for the move. This is a move coming in into turn 1. Sicknick versus Big Man Joe into turn 1. Sicknick goes down the inside. Big Man Joe tries to defend around the outside, but no, he can't keep it there. And into turn 1, Sicknick takes P3 away. But there's a chance coming up once again. Can he get a good exit? Sicknick looks like he just might have done enough to stay ahead for now.
I just might have, after all. Big Man Joe now P4, Sicknick P3. That gap going beyond half a second. I believe Sicknick might have just pulled off quite the overtake to ensure he keeps running, continues to run in that podium position on lap number 8.
Indeed, and well, we are just only a third into the race so far, and we've had so much action. What will really spice up the race right now is a safety car of VSC to throw off all the pit strategies out of the window and possibly test the wits of these drivers. Yeah, perhaps someone would like to help out with that, but in the meantime, looks like Big Man Joe has just lost DRS of Sicknick here, and that might just be the end of this run for now.
Yeah, tactical, deployment of DRS there even by Sicknick, but he did have more than Big Man Joe going into that. But yeah, he's gotten within a second into that penultimate corner of Big Man Joe, and they're probably going to stay a second. No, it's just, It's been awfully close, and through the final corner, he's gonna keep it clean dead. 1 second dead, so no change there. On the straight, he won't have DRS, and the gaps between all drivers are beyond a second now.
Yeah, and it's starting to cool down a little bit as this is where the tires will start to feel a little bit second hand, especially for those on the mediums. Well, speaking of those on the medium, there's only 3 of them are on track, that being Streeter, Gouts, and Dishy. Streeter, Gouts, and Dishy, they may find themselves into the pits very early. Pit window should be open right about now, and the hard tires will take them till the end from here. Question is, do they want to go in early and try to get an undercut on the drivers ahead, or they want to stay and hope for a chance of a safety car or VSC down the road?
Yeah, I'm still wondering how Envy did it all. Only on lap 9, and he's gone all the way to the back of the pack. He's come through the field. He finds himself back in the top 3, and now he leads the race despite the spin. Despite the spin,
Indeed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, like you said, Streeter, who, for one moment, who we thought had a comfortable lead there, and possibly, with the softer tire at the start to get away and pull ahead. He did that for a few laps, and then he just made that one crucial mistake, which squandered that lead and putting him on the back foot in terms of strategy right now. But yeah, looks like Streeter is starting to push once again, trying to recover the gap before he goes for a pit. Perhaps this might just be his in lap. It looks like he just gained some time on NB.
And while we spoke about the runners in the front, the runners in the back had a bit of action. Horning had his first spin in this race. I had expected that not to happen, but despite that, Gouts has an opportunity now. The gaps trickle down to within 2 seconds. So yeah, he'll be looking to close that gap and make that pass on Horning sooner rather than later. Huge gap between Derp and Horning goes to show that Derp's pace is relatively much better, of course. And Horning and Derp, the gap I was talking about, 11 seconds. Sorry, I phased out there for a bit. And another gap we've been tracking awfully close up in front is Sicknig and Big Man Joe, now within a second, yet again. Third time in the last couple of corners, I'd like to say. Big Man Joe still finding it difficult to stay within a second.
Yeah, and it's just fluctuating back and forth, and it's crucially right around here where the DRS detection zone is, and looking like this time around Big Man Joe might have gotten the DRS. We'll get a confirmation in a moment. Yeah, there you go. Finally, back into DRS. This might just be the saving grace for Big Man Joe, because now he might just need to save that battery and just recharge for a few more laps before attempting an undercut. And there you go. And we're up in front, who we have not really spoken of much. Just sending a message to us that he's still out there doing his race. Sets the fastest lap of the race for now.
Of course. But it's great. Big Man Joe managed to keep it within a second and continues to keep it within a second. And as I say that, so does Gouts at the very back of the pack. So he'll be closing in on the likes of Horning and making up as much positions as he can in this race. We're on lap number 11, folks, of the Chinese GP of the Bwoah Racing League Season 6. We've had RB Ferrero, unfortunately, retire from this race early into it. Much like Australia as well, I'm pretty sure he's a bit unhappy with that. That's 2 races out of the 3 in Bwoah Racing League he's already retired from. Unfortunate, and hopefully we see more of him going to the next couple of races.
Yep, and league racing is always part luck, part skill, and it looks like he ran out of luck today. Well, if anything there's to go by, perhaps he might just get a good outing the next time around. Let's hope that actually turns out well. But back again to this battle between Big Man Joe and Sicknig. Once again, Sarthak, it's the middle sector where Sicknig is pulling his getting his advantage on, and he has pulled about 3 tenths just in the middle sector alone to pull out of DRS range once again.
And Big Man Joe trying his best to deploy as much battery as he can, which is basically non-existent at this point. But Sicknig, he's still got a lot. So clearly he's gonna keep that seconds gap solid for the next few laps, making sure he's not threatened for position. But a driver out on track who is threatened for position is Horning at the back, And mind you, folks, every position counts. Every position receives points. This is more points than the one below it. And Gouts closes in on the gearbox of awning, weaves to the right-hand side of the track, stays wheel to wheel ahead of the penultimate corner of this brilliant Shanghai International Circuit. And Gouts is going to have the nose in front. I'm going to hold on to that position. I'd like to think Horning tucks right behind Gouts. He's hoping to get the jump on Gouts going into turn 1. Let's see how this unravels as they come along the final corner.
Indeed, and Horning tried to go for a switchback out of that hairpin, but it didn't work out. It looks like he's not really having enough grip on those aging hard tires, but so is Gouts, who's already on this medium tires for 12 laps, so they must be feeling second hand right now. Only about a matter of time when he jumps into the pits. For now, he is trying to pull away, trying to break the DRS out of Horning. Up in front, just now we just saw Signig has managed to pull another 3/10 on Big Man Joe, and the gap keeps growing up. It's almost 2 seconds now for Signig, the advantage.
Yeah, with Envy's race going from bad to great, Dishy's race actually took the other spin, if I could say that, because Dishy's race actually went from great to bad. He was up in the podium positions, and now he finds himself all the way in 11th. Unfortunate for him.
Now seems
now
to be
solid
disconnected
gaps
as well, so that is really unfortunate for him. So things getting out of control for him. He's no longer in the race. Let's hope when he gets back, he can possibly put on a comeback of a drive.
Maybe start talking about strategy, if anything, Dalvin. I mean, think about it. The top 3 runners, Envy and Signig, both on hards, while Streeter, the man in the middle, on mediums with the same age tires. I'm thinking going into the pit stops, who do you really, Big Man Joe, maybe the outlier in this fight?
Yeah, he is definitely a contender for the podium here. If he gets an undercut right, he might just jump Signig. And knowing how the tires take a lap or two to really warm up, it might just be an advantage. If you can nail the out lap on your undercut, or if you can nail the in lap on your overcut. So it's not so straightforward these days, isn't it? Not like the last game where undercut was most definitely the way to go. But here with the tire warm up being so difficult, it's all about how you nail that lap before or after the pits. So yeah, talking about strategy, I think right about now is just perfect for the medium runners to jump onto the hards and go till the end. Even the hard runners, actually, they might just wanna, if they wanna go for an undercut, they could take the mediums till the end for now, at the cost of extra tire wear at the end. So it's a risk. Is it the risk worth for the reward? I don't know. These drivers will have to take the gamble out on track. We are seeing some yellows in the middle sector, and that is Horning once again having a little bit of trouble in sector 2.
Yeah, while we were talking about strategy, he had 2 spins. 2, not 1, 2. Unfortunate for him. I think he's still on the keyboard mouse. I could be wrong, but highly likely. I don't think we'd see Horning spinning this much out if he was on the wheel itself. Hopefully he gets on the wheel sooner than later, because I think we'll see him, rather than P10, up in a P1 if anything. I mean, he's very capable of running in the top 3.
Indeed, yeah, and well, he's still in the top 10 for now. Every position gets a point awarded. So kudos to him for keeping it going for now, and he might just get 1 or 2 points more if we have some more spins. And looks like we have one already, and it is Streeter who has spun, and that hands P2 right over to Signig. Oh wow, what's happening to Streeter? He has spun twice in the same sector of this track across a few laps, and that has lost him 2 positions, crucially both podium paying positions.
Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, or are my eyes deceiving me? I see a bit of drizzle coming down.
Oh, that is interesting, Sartik. I wonder if that is actually the case, if that's why Streeter has been staying out for so long. If that is drizzle, indeed it is. That means we have a bit of a weather here. We are having some flashbacks to season 5 now. Now who is going to nail the lap for that transition. It's gonna happen in lap or two, I think.
Yeah, and as the results come down, probably a costly incident for Streeter having fallen down the order. And as we say, that UK and Cooper Abbey head into the pits. The first of the ones out on track heading into the pits. What kind of tires are they going to be coming out on? Intermediates, I presume.
Yeah, correction. I think it's Cubabi and Derp who have taken the jump, and it is the intermediate tires to go till they will go till the end of the race. And Gouts now joins the party as well, who had started on those medium tires. He will be relieved to get rid of these all medium tires and onto the intermediates for the rest of the race. So Honing is now into the pits as well. I'm going to assume everyone is going to come in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, Streeter now within a second of Sicknig and catching up quite a bit, Streeter, to the likes of Sicknig, who's running P2. Now, Envy's got a solid, convenient gap, and as I say, that Streeter fumbled a corner, and that gap goes straight beyond 1 second.
Yeah, and guess what? Now, Big Man Joe has managed to get into the DRS range of Streeter, but no DRS for him just yet. And with the rain on the way, I don't think there's gonna be any more chance of DRS in a lap or two. And there you go, DRS has been disabled officially by the in-game stewards there. So that means there's no more DRS assistance, and that just signifies this is the lap to come in for the intermediate tires. And we're still out on track, possibly feeling that it's not ready enough for the intermediates, but there's some yellows into the pits. What's happening there in the pits? There's a lot of yellow flags in the pit lane.
No. Big Man Joe still out on track on the hards. He stays out. I think he faked a pit stop. He tried to, I think he tried to pull a Kimi from the US GP back in 2018.
Yeah, I wonder if that will actually pay off, because by him staying out an extra lap on this damp, greasy track, I don't think he's doing himself any favors, and he goes almost off track there, almost locking up there. And just a lap to go, half a sector to go before he gets into the pits. Envy, who has a good lead, thankfully for him, he can jump in anytime.
Oh, Envy is struggling. Envy is struggling more than Big Man Joe is.
So lost you there for a moment. But yeah, Envy definitely was a little bit squiggly on the exits there. Big Man Joe, that's a ghosted car of dishes, so he might just have to navigate that real quick. This might just give an opportunity to the likes of Sickrig, Streeter, and Andre. Speaking of both of them, someone just ran wide. Streeter just ran wide, and Andre just nips the position out of him. And this might just give Sicknig, Andre, and Streeter chance to re-jump Big Man Joe after this pit phase.
Yeah, the midfield battles have begun while Envy and Big Man just stay out on track. And as I say, that Envy heads into the pits. Midfield, Kubarabi, Dub, and the likes of UK all within a second of each other. And that gap between Streeter and Andre has gone beyond the second. Andre makes that pass up into P4. He goes. But let's stay on this battle between Dub, Kubarabi, and UK, as Envy and Big Man Joe, the two front runners, going to the pits for a set of intermediates.
Yep, and Envy back out on the lead as well, so we can forget about him for a moment as P6, the battle for P6 intensifies between these three. And look at that, Sicknig has jumped Big Man Joe in the pit phase. Andre's jumped, and Streeter, there you go. That extra lap definitely proved to be very, very costly for Big Man Joe. Will it be jumped by UK though? Because here comes UK into turn 1, just 2 seconds behind. And this is starting to heat up even more.
Yeah, glad he stayed ahead of that fight, because Dub makes the pass on Kubarabi ahead of closing in on UK, and Streeter has retired. Streeter has retired from the race. Which part of the track is that? We're closing in. Hopefully we can see it.
Yeah, there you go. We are at that part of the track. Looks like just around here on the exit of that snail section before this sector 1 ends. And there you go, just behind. Let's ride on Bobby Galt if we can see the car.
Yeah.
No, he's gone. He's gone.
The
looks
car's
like he might have just lost it on the curbs here.
Unfortunate for Streeter. He was poised for a repeat of Season 5 result of getting on the podium. But it is the end of the race for him. While Envy holds on to that lead, Sicknig runs P2. And Andre is up in the podium positions. Big Man Joe in P4, UK in P5. Derp has made the pass on Kuberabi ahead of Kuberabi in P6 and P7. Kuberabi and Gouts in P8. And Horning will get that P9 position. And Dishy, if he's still with us, I don't know if it's him disconnected, if it's his AI or whatnot. He's still somehow in the race running in P10.
Indeed, yes. He will get that P10 once he manages to unlap himself, but looks like he has been lapped. So that is going to take a lap or two for him before he gets that P10. But yeah, safety car. Oh, neutralizing everything. And I wonder, is there going to be even more rain? Or is it going to dry uphill until the end? Is this a repeat of last season where it's just a light drizzle in the middle of the rain, the middle of the race, and then goes back to slicks? Only time will tell what these drivers are seeing up in front.
I think we needed this safety car, as sad as it was to see Streeter retire from this race. I wish we could have gotten a safety car without any major incident, but that's not how this works. Envy now has a challenge at the restart of the safety car, of this race, sorry, after safety car. What do you think, Davin? Do you think it's really a proper opportunity for Sicknig and Andre to, take a fight with Envy, take the fight to Envy at the restart, or will Envy, as he always does, or more often than not does, just pull away graciously and pull up a seconds gap that unravels into 2, 3, 4, and so on?
Well, if he gets a good start, for sure he can definitely pull away once again and be comfortable with the lead. But yeah, he had a 20-second gap up in front before the safety car, which is more than enough to drive comfortably and bring down the pace a little bit, just so you don't make a mistake. But now with all that being wiped off, someone might just fancy a chance on the restart. Sicknig, Andre, Big Man Joe, Derp, who's had a pretty poor race. Oh, what's happening there once again? Looks like Derp is stopped on track. He's been having some trouble. He might have spun out, and UK has passed him. Perhaps just a little bit of a issue going on with the game. Derp seems to be a little bit confused with what's happening out on track, and so does UK. Hopefully no one has damage out of that. Possibly some tricky illegal overtakes by the game. Derp goes off track to get rid of that warning, a normal trick that you can do. But yeah, Derp now in P6. I was gonna say he was in P5, but now he's down to P6. He will be looking for a comeback as well after that terrible first stint on those slick tires.
The intermediates really blend in with the grass, don't they? With the green bands around them. I was just looking at it while Derp was going on top of the grass. I don't think it's too wise to be doing that though. But I guess, as you said, the issue with the game was just messing with both Derp and UK. The full safety car continues. I guess it's waiting for Horning to catch up. And the rain's coming down even harder now.
Yeah, so wonder if this is gonna stay intermediates for any longer. This is gonna become wet towards the end, but yeah, definitely if it's gonna stay intermediates, all drivers are on the right tire for now. Safety car is somewhere in the middle sector, still waiting for the next group of drivers, which includes UK, Derp, Gouts, Kuberabi, and Horning to catch up, but they are being slowed down by the ghosted lap car of Dishy. So that might prove to be a little bit of a trouble, but thankfully the AI catches up back to the pack. Now the question is, will Horning catch up by the end of this lap, or will the safety car go in first?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just waiting for Horning to catch up. But they've bunched up quite a bit. I'm sorry, I'm fumbling there. I was just looking at these cars. I was trying to track what Dishy's doing in the midfield. And then I figured he's been lapped completely by the entire field, of course, as it shows on the timing board as well. But yeah, Envy leads this race, continues to lead this race, of course, on the safety car. Sicknig right behind, Andre to follow, Big Man Joe in P4, UK P5, Derp P6, Gouts in P7, Kuberabi P8, Horning in a dismal P9 after a couple spins. And we still have a race in our hands, folks. For the 22 of you all watching, make sure you hit that like if you haven't already. We've got about 9 laps left into this race, so hopefully 8 of them will be not on the safety car. But then again, Horning still has quite a bit to catch up, about 10 seconds.
Yep, and he is finally on the same straight as everyone else. So this will be possibly the final lap of the safety car. It has been 3 laps, so this will be the final safety car lap, and we will have a race restart at the end of lap 20. Lap 21, 28. We have 8 laps to go. What else will we see from these drivers here? Is there any more plot twist to come, as someone has mentioned in the chat, or is this just gonna be the way it ends?
I was just looking at chat actually for the first time in a long time. A lot of support for Sicknick in the chat. Maybe folks want him to win. And Prophecy says Derp win or I write. Derp's right now in P6, so I guess we're going to be bearing with Riot from Prophecy's side. I believe he is the team principal in the years of Horning and Derp as we speak.
Indeed, and I'm getting my pitchfork ready just in case that's Riot. But yeah, if Dub wins, and then I'll be waving that Maranello flag one way or another. It's in support of of Prophecy's actions there. But either way, yeah. Yeah, I think on this restart, it's crucial to make up some positions. And then yeah, there you go, safety car in this lap. And yeah,
and the track is wetter than it used to be. And do you think the intermediates is still cut out for these conditions? Davin, you tell me.
I haven't driven in the wets that much, especially in this game, but I can say from the looks of it, it's still intermediates enough that the drivers will not want to consider the wets unless it's gonna become, you know, full wets in like in a lap or two. And then they might consider, oh, what's happening there to Horning? Just a bit of a switcheroo going on. Kuberabi losing a bit of time there. Oh, he picked up a 5 second for ignoring yellow flags. Perhaps might have accidentally overtaken under the safety car. And that will be something he may want to get reviewed by the stewards.
Yeah, all these cars are weaving very comfortably despite the rain, Davin.
Indeed, I mean, yeah.
They're going left to right, side to side, despite the rain coming down. But Envy's bunched up the pack, and we're set.
Yep, and it's down to him to restart, as he is the race leader now. Effectively, he's the safety car, and still waiting for his chance to accelerate. He's not going, and now he goes. Now he goes. Sicknick right on his case, tries to get on the inside. And no, not close enough just yet. Maybe into turn 1 if there's a gap opening up for Envy. Envy just running a little bit right down behind. What's happening there? UK and Dub and Gouts and Danny. Everyone is bunching for a position. Dub makes up 2 positions in one go.
There we go. He got the gap you were talking about. 2 positions in one go, as you said. UK, the one with the short end of the stick, down into P6 he goes. Kuberabi trying to mount a challenge to his old teammate Gouts, who's now running P7. And this gap within a second of each other in the midfield is much more, impactful as the Ferrari goes spinning. Horning's out of the race. No end plate. Now out of the race. Sets himself back on track and will be back in the race. Up ahead, Envy pulls away quite a gap. Over a second to Sicknick. So Sicknick finds himself with a challenge in his hands with the likes of Andre closing in.
Yeah, and it's crucial for Envy to pull away while he has this a little bit of a gap to Sicknick. And Andre will be looking to get a jump on Sicknick. Sicknick will be looking to hold on to this position. And with these conditions as they are, it is so much harder to overtake, which means it's so much easier to defend. But at the same time, it's so much easier to lose your car. So it's all about the drivers, their mental fortitude, their skills as well will come into question here. Can they hold on to their positions and make a break for it if they need to?
Yeah, already within lap 1 of the restart, you can see those gaps have gone beyond a second. Goes to show some of these drivers do bring their 100%, and their 100% happens to be better than just the other driver. Andre, the only one within a second, along with UK in the midfield with Kuberabi as well. On the main straight, it seems like it is Andre taking the fight to Sicknick as they go into sector 1.
Yep, Sicknick just parking it on the apex at turn 1, just positioning his car just so Andre doesn't get a chance around the outside or the inside. Gets a somewhat poor exit, but not close enough for Andre to send it into turn 4 or 5, turn 4 that is. UK also closing up to Big Man Joe, so this is starting to be a little bit of a train here, and with drivers finding it difficult under traction. You can see the cars are just struggling for grip on the exits. It's going to be very close here. Derb has picked up a 3-second penalty, as we were talking about it on the main straight, and that looks like a riot on the way, Sarthak. 3 seconds will not help him to get a win if he is where he's at.
Oh no, contact between the Haas and the Merc, and contact between the Haas and the Ferrari as well. But Andre gets sent out into the gravel, and Signig somehow holds on to that P2 position. And as you said, that maybe we're closer to no riots here today, Dalvin, because Derp is now closing in on the likes of Signig. ERS being deployed at the back straight. Signig's a sitting duck at this point. Derp weaves to the right. Thank you very much, going into the penultimate corner perhaps. And late breaking into that corner. No one gets wiped out. Signig loses the position to Derp. Ahead of the final corner, I called it too soon. Signig comes back for it as they stayed wheel to wheel, and Derp still within striking distance on top of his gearbox. ERS deploy one more time, and wheel to wheel they will be. They will remain on the main straight into turn 1. What a fight between these two up in the front.
Yeah, Signig gets the inside line. That means he can dictate the line he wants to take into this corner. Derp trying to get the alternate line, but there's just not much grip on the outside. Signig running a little bit wide there on the exit, which just invites Derp, but Derp gets a poor exit as well, and that means no one is gonna make a position up. But Andre looks like he wants to send it. He wants to go for a position down the inside. Into turn 5 he goes, takes the P4 away from UK. UK doesn't get the best of exits, and that means Andre is back up into P4 for now.
Yeah, we can make a whole documentary of sending it in the rain out of this race, because the moves being made out on track, very cheeky, very audacious by some of these drivers. But yeah, within a second, the whole front pack are after Signig, right? Signig, Derp, Andre, UK, Big Man Joe, Gouts, Kuberabi. So quite the DRS train in the entire field in that regard. And now the inside goes Andre on Derp, who's lost out at that particular corner in Sector 2. And UK now is going to be watching carefully for one more fumble to capitalize on another driver's mistake. He fumbles himself, and that gap opens up to beyond half a second.
Indeed, and it's just so nice to watch drivers pushing the limits in the wet set. And there you go, Gouts now trying his luck once again on Big Man Joe, and he takes the position away. P6 belongs to him, but Big Man Joe tries to get a cutback. Gouts parks it on the apex and gets the position away this time.
Yeah, Kuberabi is carefully watching as well. He's seeing this battle unravel in front of him, and on the straight, he might just be able to make the move. And yes, he will. ERS, he's got plenty of it on the main straight. He's gonna queue up alongside Big Man Joe. Covers it, and it's a crash. Both of them wipe out. Kuberabi somehow stays on track. Big Man Joe, in the spirit of covering up that gap to Kuberabi, takes himself out of this race, loses the front 2 wheels, and it's a full safety car once again, Darwin. Who would have expected that?
Oh my word. Oh my. Oh, that was interesting. That was so close on the limits. Big Man Joe trying to hold his line. Kuberabi possibly might have tapped him. That will definitely be reviewed there, but you know, I think Envy doesn't want this safety car, does he, Sarthak? Because he had a lead of 8 seconds while Signig was holding on the rest of the pack. But now, with safety car coming out once again, we'll only have possibly 2 or 3 racing laps at the end. It's another chance for everyone to gain some last minute positions.
With 4 laps to go, Envy is not happy. He is not happy. He had a 10-second gap to Signig. That was a convenient win for him. And now he's got Signig, he's got Andre, he's got Derp back in the mix in the top 4. I mean, things couldn't have gotten a bit worse for Envy. I'm going to say a bit worse, because let's not forget, Envy's a clean driver. He can keep it clean, especially when he's in the lead. A bit of comparisons between him and Lewis Hamilton in that sense, perhaps some would say. But yeah, what an incident that was. Kuberabi has no front wing. He'll be heading into the pits, so he might just end up coming out actually in the same position, considering Horning's gap is sizably large between the two.
Indeed. And the other
What a
person
race
I
this is
would
turning out
say,
to be, eh, Dalvin?
indeed, yeah. So saying the other person who would not love this safety car is Dub, because he has a 3-second penalty to his name, which means he will drop down some positions if someone is within 3 seconds of him. And is he going into the pits? Is Dub going into the pits? With a little bit of a Lewis Hamilton-esque running wide into the pits. I wonder what is he up to. Is this gonna be a gamble onto the slicks? Kuberabi is in for his wing change. What's Dub gonna do on the pit stop? He's going for the full wets. Sartek, he's going for the full wets. Dub is going for the full wets. Is this time for the full wets? Will he be getting positions on the restart? Will he be the fastest guy on track?
I'm
this
curious
is a
what
gamble and a half there.
Yeah, I'm curious what Kuberabi does in terms of tires. Will he come back on a fresh set of inters? Will he come back on wets just like Derp did right ahead of him?
He's on the
But yeah.
intermediates though. So looks like Derp might have just called this right, Sartek. Like you said, it is getting heavier. Rain is much more. It's pouring down even more now in Shanghai, as we see here. And I will say this is right on the crossover here for the wet tires and intermediates. Derp might have just nailed this restart, but can he gain some positions on the restart here? Maybe 2 or 3 laps at most. That will be his advantage.
Yeah, and as I look at Kuberabi, Derp, and Horning's gaps, right, we're probably going to have 2 laps or a laps shootout in some sense for this race to end. For the folks joining in relatively recently, what a race this has been. We had RB Ferrello retiring early on into this race after an unfortunate incident where he wiped himself out into Sector 2. Maybe there was an incident with another driver. Streeter, a driver who was on the podium last season in this particular race, was also running in podium positions. Took this one, wiped out as well, retired from this race. Big Man Joe, the most recent DNF, after an incident with Kuberabi while closing the gap, making sure he doesn't make an overtake around the outside. Got taken out. I do not know how Kuberabi somehow, despite the spin and despite losing just the front wing, managed to keep it on track. But he is still on track on the intermediates. Horning comes out on full wet, so it's the Ferraris with the full wet gamble, perhaps with a 2-lap shootout to come. Envy leads this race ahead of Sicknig, Andre, UK, Gouts, Derp, Kuberabi, and Horning, the only ones left in this race. We started off with 12. Now we have just 8 and an AI.
Yeah, this just might turn out to be a Ferrari masterclass, I hope, by fitting on the wet tires at the right time. And as we always say, you want to be on the right tire at the right time, and this might just be it. Unless the game proves us otherwise, this might just turn out to be a Ferrari disaster class, as we have seen in real life. But yeah, I think the weather is definitely on the Ferrari side this time around, but we only have 2 laps of racing. Safety car will be going in. As the rules of the game are, you will have only 2 laps of racing at most once the safety car goes in. So at the minimum, my bad, you will have a minimum of 2 laps of racing, so which means safety car will be going at the end of this lap. Horning would want to hurry up and catch back up to the pack real quick, because he's only at the pit straight right now.
Yeah, also Davin, a heads up, you can stop streaming on Discord if you'd like, considering it's just a 2-lap shootout. Folks can catch the live stream. We have a ton of them joining in as we speak. Well, 2 laps we are in for, folks. All eyes on Sicknick and Andre. How can they capitalize on this whole scenario? UK finds himself in P4 now, and now in P5. Gouts as well, and now it is all up to Envy to bunch up the field right before the last 2 laps of race number 3 in the Bwoah Racing League Season 6.
Alright, and Sam, running on board with Envy, I wonder now if that wet tire gamble on that Ferrari is gonna pay off, because it looks like the rain is slightly lighter now. I wonder.
So fresh set of intermediates, Kuberabi advantaged on the back of the pack.
Yeah, and let's just quickly have a look at the tire gap, tire age here. Yeah, Kuberabi with the precious intermediates out on track. Gouts spinning out under the safety car. Yeah. Where have we seen this? Where have we seen this?
Yeah,
Yes.
while getting them bunched up, you can still see some of the gaps beyond a second. I don't think they would want it to be that way going into the safety car restart. UK Derp still beyond a second of each other. This is your moment to make sure that gap closes in, and it will, of course, come the final corner. You can still see Envy weaving, trying his best to get as much heat into that tires. And final corner, he's gonna lift away out the final corner, gets a flimsy one at that. Sicknick has made the jump, so has Andre. Envy tumbles down the order, or perhaps.
Oh no, I think that might have been an illegal overtake there.
Oh,
unfortunate
no.
there
Almost.
for Sicknick. Very unfortunate.
Chaos!
That goes.
It's Unravel Chaos. Instantly, Derp finds himself up at a P2, and Andre tumbles down the order to P7.
Yeah, that was a hectic restart there, I must say. Sicknick getting the jump on Envy, who had a mistake, but unfortunately being handed the illegal overtake. So Sicknick had to reach the position, slowed down, and lost to P5. But that's some more collisions there. UK has gone a little bit wide there, and oh boy,
no.
That's a big penalty there, which he will not be happy to have.
Yeah, we expected 2-lap shooter. We're getting the exact opposite. It's chaos at the last couple of laps in the Chinese GP. And Derp somehow finds himself in P2. After all, Riot, no Riot, we'll find out that we've got about 1.5 laps left. Kuberabi up in a P4 now, so it's both the horses running P3 and P4 have an opportunity to finish on the podium, at least one perhaps. UK is still in the mix as well. Andre closing in on the likes of UK on his gearbox. Down the inside, he peaks, will hold off for that much longer. Gouts has made the jump up in a P5, and up in front, it's still a solid seconds gap, right below a seconds gap between Envy and Derp. And Andre at the back has made that pass on UK. Up in a P6 he goes.
Yeah, spotted the gap on the inside. UK ran a little bit wide on the banking, and Andre didn't need a second invitation there. Kuberabi, in the meantime, trying to line up a move on his teammate. Let's just hope they do not go for a crazy one. Oh, Horning there, sending it on UK this time. Almost side by side, and they are somewhat ghosted. Let's just hope they get unghosted real quick before something bad happens. Horning on the wet tires here. I think he's definitely making up some time on the field. Derp up in front though. I don't think he's making up that much of a gap.
Yeah, it's still been between 8/10 to 9/10, the gap between Envy and Derp, and now it's beyond a second as we see. But the action is truly in the midfield, with UK losing the position even to the likes of Horning now. I believe his front wing is tip-top. It's fine. It's completely fine. So I'm a bit confused why he's tumbling down the order. Despite that, Kuberabi closing in on his teammate, as we've seen, still within half a second of each other. And I think Envy's up for a comfortable win. It's the final lap, of course. And that gamble onto the wets perhaps didn't work out for the likes of Derp. The midfield, the results might just be a bit of an unknown. Derp has a 3-second time penalty, but Sicknick is 4 seconds off of Derp, so Derp's got a good bet onto that P2 position after all.
Yep, these wets, I don't think they are working anymore because Derp has lost 2 seconds to Envy, but at the same time, Envy is also pulling away from Sicknick from the times. Horning has gone wide and he's down to P8 for now. But yeah, Kuberabi is still trying to line up a move on his teammate. Perhaps a drive-through will come to bite him at the end. With that time penalty will be converted. We will be converted to a 20-second time penalty. He may or may not get the remove, but yeah, let's take a round of applause here for Envy.
Yep, for Envy. Despite all odds, despite the spin in the early parts of this race, as he comes across the final corner, Envy, he had the race lead early on. He comes out to win the Chinese GP of the Bwoah Racing League Season 6 ahead of the likes of Derp, who will finish P2. And Sicknick will be the last of the podium finishers, gets the first podium of the season ahead of Gouts, who finishes a tactical 4th. He's going to be rising that along with the drivers for quite a bit of time today, I'm pretty sure.
Indeed, and what a race, what a lap we had at the end, what 2 laps. We thought, drivers will come down, but as always, the last 2 laps is where you send it, and send it they did. And well, the one driver who didn't have to send it was Envy, but was fortunate enough to come out unscathed at the end there with some incidents. Fastest lap as well goes to Envy. With that fastest lap, it just set before the rain arriving. So well calculated move, 2/10 faster than the next fastest lap. So well played, and well, there you go. We have a race finish. Dub. Looks like it's a mini ride we may have. He finishes P2 for now. 3-second penalty to his name. Fortunate to keep his position ahead of Signing, who was only 7/10 behind after that penalty. What a race.
What a race it's been, Davin. I mean, think about the unknowns, the way it started. We saw this man, Henry, started back. I mean, start in the front as well as tumble down the order. We saw Dub do the same, tumble down the order. We saw Sicknig after incidents, tumble down the order, make it up, make up positions, make sure they make the passes required to ensure they're in the most prime positions at different parts of this race. And I think if that restart didn't go the way it did, we would have seen a different outcome. Unfortunate for the 3 drivers who retired in this race. Hopefully they have better outings in the races to come.
Yeah, and that's the end of the Chinese GP. And well, just 3 races into the season, and we've proven it that we don't need a full lobby, don't we? We just need 10 drivers, and that's more than enough action out on track. One would imagine when we get to the stage where we have a full grid, possibly in a couple of months' time. And yeah, perhaps that's more drama to come then.
Yeah, definitely with a full racing grid. But yeah, for the folks who tuned in, thank you very much. We'll see you again next race number 4, who's... Yeah, I'm pretty much lost, but it's gonna be action-packed as always.
Indeed, and yes, it's been a pleasure to commentate alongside you, Sarthak, as always.
As always.
And to folks in the chat as well. Once again, thank you. Hit the like, subscribe, and stay tuned for weekly races. Weekly? Are we doing weekly? Yes, we are.
Yep,
almost.
weekly, yeah,
and yes, so it's 20 minutes to go for the Singapore Grand Prix in real life. Let's hope Ferrari doesn't bottle it. This is the one chance they can get to win it, and let's hope it turns out well for them. And till then, folks, take care and goodbye.
Cheers, guys.